Hello, 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 hello. That is 4 hellos from the Multiplex Project V2. Quick breathing moment now. Getting to this a little bit later than I wanted to. Just after I finished that Call of Duty Ghosts gameplay, I got invited to a really good game of online Nacht, Untoten. Really good, in fact, that we got to. It's not really the best round I think we could have got, but it was really good for us. We got to round 27, and I'm gonna be honest. I think I watched one of the most amazing zombie players I'd ever seen. He was squeezing through some gaps that I don't even think I've ever seen anybody get through, and to take into account that it was an online game, and I think he's American as well, so you got to think about the American lag into it. He died in the end, but round 27 training on his own, and he survived for like 10-15 minutes. It was mesmerising. But as I said in the last video, if you might have caught it to the end, I'm gonna go for just one attempt, maybe two if I go down early, to try and get, I think, round 30 on here, but more specifically round 32. I've got to round 31 before, so I wouldn't mind getting to round 32. Because when I was playing last, I definitely felt like I didn't hit, the potential of what I could do. I kind of felt like I had more rounds in me, but at the same time, I did go down a little bit unexpectedly. I was thinking I was gonna have, I was thinking I'll go on until I die. About 30 seconds into the round, I must have just been so excited from getting round 30. I think it was round 31 that I actually died on. I just got so excited, I just went down. Well, strange thing is, it does funny things to you when you get to the limit that you want to get. So hopefully, if I get to round 32 on this run, then I won't just get too excited and go down. It's a bit of a late one, 2:41 in the morning, so I'm not looking to be here much later than 4 a.m. Already a little bit tired because that game ran on. I think I finished the COD Ghost gameplay about midnight, so then I jumped right onto that game of Nacht, and yeah, we've been there for about 2.5 hours. It's astonishing to me how much more, how many more, how many more zombies you get. Oh, that's not good. How many more zombies you get online? Because obviously, like I banged on about in my Doris video, you don't get zombie scaling on solo, so it's just one train per round. And then obviously you just got to deal with the scaling of damage. But it's not really difficult to get to round 30, and it's rather quick. It's more of how good my technique will be, especially tired. So this might just be a practice run. Gonna grab a car 98k here and miss my shot. So yeah, it's just how good my technique is. Been kind of building it up for a few attempts recently. And I've been playing a little bit more Nacht than I would, to be honest, because just kind of ended up online a few times within the past week, not past week, past weeks, and just if you plug in a mic and you just start chatting to people online, you'll start finding that you'll develop a bit of it's a bit tough to call them friendships because they could flow right through your hands like water. And you could obviously never see that person again, and it's not quite a friendship, but you start building these I'll call it a connection. You start building these connections online with people that you start meeting online, and it's quite fun because these are connections that you'll never have made if it weren't for plugging in your mic and just having a bit of a jibber jabber, just rambling on to sometimes. Like I said, I'll just speak to the people in the lobby, even when they've not got a microphone, just because, why not? It's like the one thing for me about online communications was when I was young, I felt like it was really easy. There was just no like barrier to it. It just felt, you know, little squeaker in the lobby. You just didn't care. But as I've grown older, I kind of grew this sort of anxiety, maybe. Not terrible, crippling, obviously. But I grew this sort of like self-consciousness that, ooh, should I actually speak in the lobby, or should I just keep my mouth shut? But over time, from just playing World at War and just rambling on to the people in the World at War session, I've kind of like grown this ability to just talk on and on and on with, and it does come really in handy when you start trying to make a YouTube video, because you get this like freeness about you that it just don't really I got to be careful, obviously, as we all should be careful online with what we say, but to a certain limit I can really say anything, and they just no worries, just say the things that are on your mind. And I feel like I find that by getting these things off my mind, that it kind of clears my head a bit, and I just have this outlet to be able to conversate with, I think a lot of us do it. Let's not act so much like we don't sometimes just talk to ourselves. And, you might just go about your daily business and, you'll just, and it doesn't need to be obviously out loud. It might just be an internal thought of something you're doing or something you see. And, I've always been kind of one for, having that kind of internal voice and just talking away sometimes. Not all the time, but, if I'm just kind of like doing, it's definitely something quite boring. I'll just find a little space inside my head and just talk away. These are more of your 2 a.m. ramblings than your 10 p.m. ramblings here, but how many times can I say before it becomes annoying? Here's my next kind of like subject is, I feel like a lot of us maybe don't want to sit with that inner voice. I feel like I see a lot more and more, and I sometimes see it myself, that we try and avoid boredom. We try and avoid just letting our thoughts run to ourself, and we find these escape routes, especially, the mobile phones are just this amazing escape where no matter what situation or problem we get ourselves into, we just kind of think mobile phone will fix it. And I guess in some ways, obviously the mobile phones, sounding a bit, smartphones, they are really good. Like, let's be honest. There are a lot of things that, we do with our mobile phones that, if we didn't have them, we would get by. But they do make our life a lot easier in many ways. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of us, we develop a bit of a crutch. And it's, you find a moment where you've got to wait, 5, 10 minutes, maybe even longer, 30 minutes to an hour. And we just think, let's just go on the phone, and let's just burn this time away, and in no time we'll be on to the next situation or task. And you know, there I go again. I think it's to each their own. Oh, bloody hell, I can't stop doing it, can I? It's to each their own, and a lot of us will, just. I am addicted to saying, a lot of us will go to the smartphone when situations are boring. And I don't know if enough of us say or question to ourselves if, we could just sit in the moment and actually experience the moment, even when that moment is really boring. Sometimes, there I go again. I should have a counter. I don't edit these videos, but I should have a little counter in the top left, counting how many times I say in a video. But we should just try and find, oh God, time to not go on the smartphone. A lot of times that I observe the most smartphone use in my personal life is on the trains, where I feel like a lot of people are very ready to. It depends, because, I want to say people should, oh God. Sorry guys, I just feel like I should stop saying it, but then it just comes out. A lot of people should not go on it, but maybe that's your daily commute and it's just you want to get home. And you might not use it as much at home, but you might use it a lot on the train just because you're trying to get your daily commute over. And most of the times I'm on the train is whenever I'm going out for, drinks and I can't drive to the location. But every time I go on the train, I usually, get after bloody hell. I usually get some music and I'll sit there and I'll just jive away, and I'll just let the music be the thing, look out the window and see the sights. Again, if that's your daily commute, how many times can you look out the window before it becomes boring? I kind of think when comparing it to driving a car, it's like when we drive cars, we have to, legally. Depends on if people actually follow the law. But legally, we have to, put down the smartphone. But so that means you can't just go on it. But when on the train, you're not driving the train. So why not go on the smartphone? Because you're just gonna have to deal with me, guys. It's a problem. It's a real problem I got. I can't stop saying you know. There I go again. You have to use something sometimes to get through the boredom of the train. But I do enjoy that, like I was saying, that moment where I don't have to go on it, and I find myself not enjoying a lot of the times that I'm on the phone. If I'm in bed, I might, put on a YouTube video or a TV show or something. But I don't usually ever play a mobile game or... Oh, okay. Where did that even come from? That's took me 16 minutes to get to round 9, that's not bad. Let's run that one back because I'm not quite ready to call this a session. As I was saying, I quite find the times that I'm on it, I don't particularly enjoy having spent my time. I'll try and speed this one up by sniping. I don't particularly enjoy the time I've spent on the phone because a lot of it is scrolling. Because I'll go on YouTube because I don't really feel like I've got anywhere else to go. Maybe Instagram, but it's the same problem. Or Snapchat, but again, it's the same problem. I don't touch TikTok. It's a personal belief. I'm not a fan of TikTok, so I don't have TikTok downloaded. Allegations of whatever and whatever else, but not anything for the allegations, more so just for the fact that it's the source platform, and I think it revolves around short form, where when I'm on YouTube, which I would say is my main entertainment platform, I try to not get stuck into the scroll. I try to find ways out of it, because the thing is, they put it right in your face, and I feel like I want them to have a feature that says turn shorts off, and I just don't have to see shorts anymore. Because I never seek out a short. I never think, oh, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna watch some shorts. I'm gonna scroll for a bit. I never think that. Now, again, all power to you if you're one of those people who, enjoys a good scroll. I personally think it's one of the worst ways to consume media, but I can't tell you not to do it because it's not my life. If you want to scroll, you can scroll as much as you please, because we all have that personal freedom to determine whether we're going to scroll or we're not going to scroll. But personally, there's been times where I've scrolled for, I don't want to say hours, but maybe for an hour and a bit. And afterwards, when I can actually manage to pull myself away, I feel like, that feeling where you stayed in bed for too long, you've slept for like 10 hours. I get that sort of like weird, it's maybe like a mentally drained or overloaded feeling where I'm just like, firstly, I don't feel like any of that was productive. And I feel tired. I'm like, I've been awake, or I've been doing something, but I still feel so tired. After, it's like after the 10 hours of sleep, you think I should be well rested. But then you wake up and you're like, I'm really tired, because you've slept too long. And that's the sort of feeling I get from watching too many of these shorts, because it just feels like every 60 seconds, or I guess YouTube. I don't know if TikTok has the same. Again, I don't use it, but YouTube can go to like 2 minutes if the creator wants to. But it's just like you're switching content every minute, and then boom, onto the next one, onto the next one, and if you watch like a 20-minute video, you can get like kind of into the video, and after watching a 20-minute video, you don't feel that bad. It feels like just like watching a TV show. I've watched a TV show, and now I'm gonna watch my next TV show. So I never really feel that, bad about watching even a 10-minute YouTube video. Because 10-minute YouTube videos are kind of like that little sweet spot where it's not too long, but it's not too short. And I think that's why I've kind of observed my 10-minute videos doing quite well, because they do fit into that really nice niche where I can watch a 10-minute video, not spend too long watching it, and I can get on to the next video, and I can watch that one, and I can get 6 videos in an hour, and it feels good. Now, personally, I could edit these videos, but I can't seem to cut my ramblings down into a manageable bite-sized form. I find myself, once I'm off to the races. And you can either stick around for 10 minutes, you could stick around for 5, you could stick around for the full duration if you're enjoying it. But I just kind of enjoy these sort of little outlets, and I've not been doing it long, a couple of days, and what I'm kind of hoping to get out of it is a purpose to play, video games that I wouldn't usually have that purpose to play. Just, finding niche. So, if you come here and you think I'm going to be playing Call of Duty World at War, zombies for the rest of, or just zombies in general content, it probably... I've been around YouTube for a while, not as a creator, as a viewer. And I do understand a little bit of how the algorithm works, just from how creators, discuss this is happening, and this is what happens. And I understand that by creating a single form of content, YouTube does favour that quite heavily. But you kind of got to look at yourself and think, do I want to make just Call of Duty Zombies videos? Or do I want to make Minecraft videos? Do I want to make random video game playthrough videos? Do I want to make retro game videos? And I think, I love COD Zombies. I could play this game all year round. All year round. It might not be the same game, but I'll be playing it. Because I'll either play Black Ops 3, or I'll play Black Ops 2, or I'll play Black Ops 1, or I'll play World at War, and I'll have fun on every single one. In that scope, I won't play any Call of Duty outside of that scope. But I do have a deep love for a random game, or just sometimes a really bad game, because some games are just fun because they're not good. Sometimes, if they're just really bad and not fun, then I'm not going to play it. But I've got a big stack of Xbox 360 games that are picked up for like £1 each on the game. Some are a little bit more, some 50p. And you can get a lot of these 360 games for really cheap. So I've got a lot of 360 games that I could play. And not a lot of motivation to get through. And it'd be great to have this sort of reason to play a lot of these video games, because, well, I'm on the search, not the search, but the hunt for 100,000 gamer score. So initially my thoughts are, I don't know why have I just bought that? That's the 2 a.m. thinking right there, buying ammo when there's max ammo right in front of me. I bought a lot of these video games and I just don't have a lot of purpose to play them. You see, because I come back to like World at War and Call of Duty quite often because they're comfort games, you know, they're easy to play. But when it comes to like playing a Need for Speed or a Medal of Honor or Halo, it's not as easy. I'm guessing depends on what I grew up on. A lot of people have probably grown up on these games, so it's been really easy for them to play these games. And I'm starting to think, I really hope that my microphone is plugged in, because otherwise, well, it's plugged in, but sometimes it doesn't recognise it immediately, and I'm starting to think if it hasn't, this is going to be a really quiet video. This is going to be a really quiet video if it hasn't. So I'm really hoping it has, and I'm not going to check, because if I find out it hasn't, I'm not going to be very happy. And if I find out it has, then I'll have just wasted my time looking. So sorry if this is really quiet, because it's that time of the day where I can't quite be as, well, it's not daytime. That time of the night where I can't be very loud. And that's kind of where having a microphone helps. I need to try and get through some more of these zombies. We're only just approaching round 9 again, which I don't even know where that zombie came from. I felt like I was building this barrier. I thought there was no zombie, so I came over here. I don't feel like I saw one come from there. And I was like, I felt confident there's no zombie. And then it just showed up. Just out of nowhere he came and killed me. A little bit bummed out because it wasn't even like, it was a cheap shot. I didn't even go down in a proper way. As always, there is sometimes the tap stops flowing, and there can be a stop to the ramblings. I think we'll try and engross ourselves in the game a little bit more. So I think the next thing, you see, I want a ray gun, but at the same time I understand how much you don't need a ray gun. It's just kind of like this thing that would be nice, but it doesn't have to make or break the run. It's just something where it's a bit like a luxury. You'd really like to have it. It's like a chocolate bar. You want a chocolate bar, tasty. You know, you feel good while you're eating it. But you'll live just fine without a chocolate bar. So it's one of them where if I had a ray gun, I'd probably survive a little better. But as eating too many chocolate bars, if you use your ray gun a little bit too much, you might become a little bit too dependent and forget how to actually train the zombies in an orderly fashion. Like doing that maneuver there. That maneuver there is risky in the best of times, but it can become more risky with a ray gun because you'll think, I've got this in the bag, I've got a ray gun, I'll just kill the zombies in front of me and I'll keep going in the way that I want to go. But then you think if you try and make that little gap, you're actually, if you make the gap, you're better off because you're improving your skill of getting out of situations that you shouldn't be able to get out of. Just gotta be careful because it can kill me. While that nuke's going off, I've had that a few times online, and I would not like to transfer that into offline because, well, I'm not gonna get back up. You see, it's not giving me a ray gun, but I'm just not gonna feel sad about that because this Tommy gun right now is doing the Lord's work. You know what to say, praise the Lord and pass me the ammunition. I don't even really need to train right now, just need to make sure nothing comes through either of these windows. Probably would be better off building that barrier up a bit more. I do wonder when this actually drops off. I think about round 20. But the headshots, I really wish I could check the statistics. You can't do that on single player until you die. The headshots are definitely what make it last a lot longer because I think you can, by round 30, you're taking a few sprays, but it gets through quick enough. Like, it's definitely not as quick as round 11, but it's rather quick, and having that ammo be right there is really good because you can just keep, you can buy that more than the amount of points that you'll ever have. Not quite the route I want to be running there, but you've got to be dynamic when training. When something happens, you've just got to be ready to change course. That guy that I was watching before, I don't know what sensitivity he actually had, but it was quite fast. Maybe about 7, 6, 7, 8. Could have been 10, but it was really quick. Like, his turning speed was like rapid. I can't quite control the character when my turn speed's that quick. But he could see a problem and in no time just spin right around and get out of it. That's why I think he was probably one of the best I've ever seen. Like, you've got to think, if he was playing solo and didn't have any of the lag holding him back, and the no zombie scaling. I bet he could get round 40. At push, I don't know how difficult round 50 is, but he was impeccable at training. It was just the amount that was coming at him. He must have killed about 10, 15 trains, which doesn't sound mega, but you know, at round 27 it really adds up, especially with, you know, the round 27 damage scale. I feel like I'm getting a lot of zombies. I don't actually know what the exact number is. I don't think it's definitely more than, I think, one train's worth. I feel like it is 24, but I'm not sure. Just a quick yawn there. Will say my bed's gonna feel very comfortable after this. But, you know, I said in that last video that the next thing I was gonna do was get on World at War and give a Nacht Untoten round 30 running it. Sorry guys. It just wouldn't have felt right if I didn't keep to the promise that I made in that video. If I didn't at least, you know, try and get round 30. I could turn it into round 13 if I go down here. Hopefully not. I wouldn't mind getting to at least round 25. Would be nice. Obviously, well, I'm saying round 30, but round 32 is the goal because that's my highest round yet. Round 31's my highest round, should I say. And then round 32 would be breaking my record. I'll keep trying to get, MG42. Keep trying to get the ray gun. See if the ray gun decides to pop out. I think we're hitting about 37 minutes. I need to be careful that I don't go over like an hour. I don't think I've got the storage for an hour. Wow, look at that. I didn't even see that. I don't even need that max ammo, but I insta-kill. Oh my god, another one. I'll just sit in this corner. Wow. You know what happens that, doesn't it? It will give you like 3 power-ups instantly. No, I won't see another one for like 2 rounds. It seems to whenever I come to record a video I get really gassy. It's just like gas is just overflowing and it knows you're trying to make a video. So I'm just gonna come in and make you have to stop a bunch to exhale the gas. Let's see, I should have known this would have been a bit more of a less activity. I can't even speak it, have to. This would have been a less... I can't even think of the word. Not as much going on. That's what I'm trying to say, there's not as much going on. Because, well, that's kind of what there usually is in these round 30 runs, because there's a lot of zombies to kill and you can only talk about so much on the way. I do try and talk a lot, a little bit for the sake of entertainment, a little bit because, you know, it's nice to just talk about these things. A lot about entertainment. I'd want people to come to the channel and, you know, maybe it's a reflection of, you know, what's going on in your life and you can see, you know, the things I'm talking about happening in your life, and it's just kind of nice to see somebody say the same thing sometimes. I got the comment before. I don't know if the commenter will be watching. I don't know if anybody's watching to the 40th minute. but he was talking about he likes how the video was recorded with, just a phone camera set up, pointed at the screen, and just that OG style. And I'll be honest, I feel like 10 years ago, this was obviously the big YouTubers obviously weren't doing it, but this was how you recorded a video. If you wanted to record a bit of gameplay and upload it to a YouTube channel, you pointed your phone at the screen and you just started playing the game. So, just thought, I was watching the old channel, because I saw it in my liked videos, and I was like, I think I could make those videos. Oh, okay. Oh, we're dead. Okay. I definitely need to try this again in a more awake state. But it's a good test. Round 16, not anywhere near what I wanted to be, but it is getting late. It is getting 3:20 now. Late / early. It probably won't be tomorrow, if anybody's watching till the 42nd minute. And it probably might not be the day after. Might even not be the day after. You'll never know. It'll come out when it comes out, and I'm going to look to definitely get around 30. Round 32 maybe not, but I'm definitely going to get round 30 in the next video. And then after I get round 30, we're going to move to another game. I've been hinting at Minecraft. Might be Minecraft. I've done the COD Ghosts, so I'm not going back to COD Ghosts. That is mixed reviews. It's not a bad game if there were more people playing, but we also ran into the modder, so if you run into a lot of modders, any game's not fun. Because I want a fair game. When I play a game, I want it to be fair. So I might play Minecraft. It'll definitely be 360 edition, so think about underwater update. Or we could point the camera to a different direction. I do have an old CRT TV, so we might get some low quality footage of maybe PS2. Could even do some Super Nintendo. Don't know. Super Nintendo or original Xbox, PS1. I do need to play some PS1 because I've got a bunch of PS1 games that I want to get through. So we'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of potential. I've just heard something go off. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you for watching.